Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Janine Esbrand and I share content about being a millennial entrepreneur, wife, mother, Christian, and the list goes on. And so if you're interested in the behind the scenes of what it looks like to juggle many hats, then keep watching. In today's video, I want to share with you my journey injuring myself at the top of 2025. I ruptured my Achilles tendon, and as I have been searching on YouTube for videos around recovery, I'm seeing a lot of videos that are very much focused on physiotherapy and that process, but not so much about people just sharing the experience and what it actually feels like to be a busy person who has to slow all the way down because they have injured themselves. So I'm gonna share this probably in a few parts. This is part one of the journey as to what happened. Let me give you a bit of backstory. I have always been quite an active person. I enjoy sport, I enjoy keeping fit, I enjoy going to the gym. A couple of years ago, I injured my left Achilles tendon. I got tendonitis and it was pretty painful to walk on, and I had to have about 8 months of physio, and I wasn't able to work out properly. So after I had my physio and my leg went back to normal, I was excited to get back into fitness and doing all the things that I'm used to doing and that I enjoy doing. So I started going to the gym again, and at this point I was 39, and I was like, next year I'm going to be 40, so let's really ramp things up. I started a Fit Before 40 campaign for myself. I'm going to get fit again, I'm going to be focused, I'm going to be dedicated. And leading up to my 40th birthday, which was in November, I really ramped up my gym sessions. In the summer of last year, I turned our garage into a gym, and I'll share like some pictures of that here. And I was excited. I created a space for myself. As someone who is juggling school runs whilst trying to run your business, there isn't much time. In order for me to fit my gym sessions in, it would mean cutting short my workday, which was proving quite challenging. I decided, what if I created a space in my house? Then it's going to be a lot easier for me to make sure that I'm doing my workouts. So cleared out the garage, bought some additional gym equipment, some gym mats and all of that, and then created the space. So things were going really well every single day for about 4 months. I was going to the gym in the morning, so I would do the drop off, I'd come back, I'd go to the garage, I'd work out, and then I'd start my day. Or on the days my husband did the drop off, he would do that, and I'd be able to get started on my workout a lot earlier. So it's going really well. And then got to my 40th birthday, I was feeling fabulous, and I was really happy with the way that I'd been consistent and how my body was looking and feeling as a result of my workout. So fast forward, my birthday's in November, and I continue to work out post my birthday, and then we get to the top of the year, and you know it's January, you start making plans, and you're like, okay, what's the plan, what we're going to do, what goals do we have? And I wanted to ramp things up. I've been working out consistently, I've been doing strength training, Pilates, I've been doing a bit of cardio stuff in the garage, but I want to do more cardio. And I've always loved playing netball. So from the age of probably 7, I would go with my mum to her netball matches, and then as I got older and started going to high school, I started playing netball at school, and then beyond that I would play for teams locally outside of school, and I just love netball. And as I progressed throughout my life, I would always find myself in a netball team. I would create a team if there wasn't one in my area, or I would be part of a team. When I had my babies, I paused, I went back after my son, and then after I had my daughter, who is now 7, I didn't go back to netball, partly because we moved house and we moved to an area where I didn't know that there were any netball teams. I couldn't find a netball team. Over the Christmas period, I came across a post on Facebook that said back to netball and my area, so I was like, oh fantastic, there is a team and there is a netball community in my area, and I decided to go along to the netball session. You can probably guess what's going to happen next, right? I went along with my daughter. I was really excited. So I went along to the netball session, and you can probably guess what happened next, right? I went along with my daughter. I was really excited for her to come because I'm trying to encourage her to get into netball as she is like 7 and just getting started, and she hasn't been as excited as I hoped she would be because I love netball so much. So I was like, why don't you come along and watch mummy play? So went along to this session. When we got there, I couldn't quite find the sports hall. It was located in a big school, and I couldn't find where the sports hall was. So by the time I got in there, it was a little bit late and everyone had already started, and I hadn't met any of these ladies before. So I did a slight warm up, right? I stretched, I did a little bit of running up and down, but I wouldn't say it was a thorough one. Definitely wasn't a thorough one. So as we did some drills, then we got into a match situation, and I was playing goal attack because that's my favourite position. And yeah, I was getting into it. It was great. And my daughter was on the side being like, "Go, mummy, go!" So she was really excited to see me play. And then it happened. It happened. It was a centre pass. I was goal attack, so I darted out to get the ball. If you know anything about netball, on the centre pass, you want to be getting out there as quickly as possible so you can get the first pass, and then you can get the ball down to your goal shooter so they can shoot and then you can score. So I darted out, the ball came my way, I jumped for the ball, I landed, and literally I heard a sound that was like this. And I thought somebody had tripped me up. I landed on the floor and this pain just rushed through my leg, and then my leg went numb. As I landed on the floor, everyone rushed over to me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And the umpire who was running the session was like, "Are you okay? Can you move your foot?" And they got some ice, and I could move my foot. I was able to flex my foot. So in my mind, if I'm able to flex my foot, I haven't torn anything, right? And I said to her, "I think somebody tripped me up and I fell down." She said, "No, nobody was near you." And I was like, "Really?" Because I know what I felt. I felt like someone kicked me in the leg, and then I heard that sound, which for me was the sound of someone kicking me in the leg. Come to find out later that that is the sound of your Achilles tendon rupturing. So I was at the session, I hobbled over to the side, and then I rested, well, I elevated my foot, and they were like, "How is it? How is it? How is it?" I was like, "I don't know. It feels quite numb. I think I can walk on it." So I actually managed to walk on my foot and drive around the corner home. And I thought, well, if I can do that, it can't be that bad. Little did I know it was because there was still adrenaline rushing through my body and the area was numb. But the next morning, woo, the next morning I got out of bed. I tried to get out of bed and walk, and it was like, absolutely not. No, ma'am. No, no, no. You will not be doing that. So I said to my husband, "Oh my gosh, like this is really, really painful." So he said, "Let's go and take you to A&E." So we dropped the kids to school, took me to A&E, and and side note, I just want to say, like, the service was amazing. I know that a lot of times we can complain about the NHS, the National Health Service over here in the UK, and the fact that the waiting times are ridiculous. But I want to give shout out and give credit where credit is due when they do an amazing job, right? I got there, my husband dropped me off, I went armed with my laptop. I was like, okay, I'm going to be here all day. This is going to be my office for the day. I was literally in and out in just over an hour. They saw me, they did the leg test, which is where you have to kneel on a chair and then they have your legs hanging off the back of the chair and they squeeze your calves. And if your Achilles is intact, normally as they squeeze down your calf, your foot will just automatically move. If it is not intact, your foot will do nothing. My foot did nothing. So the man was like, "Yeah, you've ruptured your Achilles." I'm like, "I've ruptured my Achilles. Tell me, what does that mean? Like, I need to understand what that means." He's like, "You've torn your Achilles and this is going to be a very long road to recovery." And I'm like, "Really? Like, seriously?" I played for less than 10 minutes. I didn't even get the satisfaction of playing a full game. And now my Achilles is ruptured. So then I ask him, "Okay, so what does that mean from a recovery point of view? Like, how long is recovery?" He's like, it's one of those injuries. Like, it's going to be a very long road to recovery." Okay, when you say very long road to recovery, what are we talking? How long are we talking? And he's saying it could be up to 6 months. up to 6 months. I have 2 kids. They go to school not close to my house. It's a 25-minute drive to their school. And I'm an entrepreneur. Part of what I do is speaking on stages. So like, how is this going to work then? When you say I have a long road to recovery. At this point, he's putting my foot in a cast, right? From my knee downwards. And it's my right foot. And I'm literally sitting there being like, you're not serious. This can't be happening. I'm like, am I dreaming right now? Is this actually happening? And he's like, yeah, I mean, when you get to our age, these types of things happen. I'm like, our age? I feel young still. I know I just turned 40, but I feel young still. And he's like, yeah, this tends to happen. People get excited about fitness in January and they're like, right. And then they go in and they do some intense workout and then they injure their Achilles. So if you're watching this and you have never injured your Achilles tendon, just be mindful. Be mindful. If you want to change up your activity, if you want to up level your fitness, make sure that you are preparing your muscles, especially if you're, you know, a millennial. If you are just above 40 or just above 50 or whatever it is, like, make sure that you don't forget, you know, because sometimes I feel like we get older, and as we get older, we just feel the same inside, and our bodies are aging and our bodies aren't feeling the same in some ways, and we don't realize. So we can just, you know, we can overdo it. So just be mindful. But yeah, so that was the prognosis. So I was like, okay, so you said 6 months recovery, but like, how long is it going to be till I can drive? And he's like, at least 8 weeks. At least 8 weeks, because after we take you out the cast, you're going to have to go into a boot and you can't drive with a boot. And so, yeah, that was basically the prognosis. This happened about 3 weeks ago now. Yes. So I'm gonna pause there and I will do a part 2 video on what happened after the prognosis. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to follow along the ups and downs of this recovery journey, then make sure that you like, you subscribe, share this video out. And yeah, I'll be sharing about this injury, but like also other things behind the scenes, things that I think happen in our lives and a lot of people don't necessarily talk about. Like, people often talk about the victories, right, or what they've been able to achieve, but don't always share the messy middle, don't always share what it looks like while you're on the journey. I know this is going to be a testimony at some point. I know that at some point, whether later on this year, next year, I'm going to be like, back in January 2025 this happened, I injured my leg, and as a result of that and that healing period or the recovery period, these amazing things happened. I know that's going to be the case. I'm trusting that that's going to be the case, right? But right now, I don't know what that is. I don't know what's coming out of this. So I'm taking you along for the journey if you want to come with me. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.